Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, and good night, wherever you may be. And welcome back to the HCW channel, and welcome to another edition of HCW Show Squared, the show that do usual format or formula of HCW podcast that has the power of, you guessed it, two. I am your critically acclaimed host, as always, Dan, DP, or as we all say, DpuizY. Yeah. And I am joined not by the regular cast. I'm not joined by Mr. McCraig. I'm not joined by Pencil and Nikki. I am joined by the semi-regular appearance of Muzza. Muzza.
Hey.
How are you?
Hey, the guy who says he never usually watches NXT and now has somehow been dragged into watching NXT semi-weekly now. That's how we do it. Woo.
But how are you? How are you?
I am very good. Very good. Excited to be here. Another episode of NXT. As we're now on the road to, roadblock.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we are on the road to stand and deliver, but as always, there is a roadblock in the way.
Yep.
So, any pre-show thoughts or opinions you want to give before we get into the review?
Well, I guess I'll just give my without going into detail, my overall thoughts on the show. I thought it was a decent show. You know, for as we say, we're on the road to another big show coming up soon. I thought decent enough show. Built up some matches. We've still got the intrigue of this. It's not really a forbidden door at this point. The working relationship between NXT and TNA.
Yep, the old NXT.
TNA. We've still got this mystery group. Of which I don't know any of the members' names apart from I think it was Osiris Miller. I think that's what was. That's the one name I remember because we were going through names.
Yeah, we'll get more into that down the line. But as always, good to have you on. It's always fun. It's always fun to have you actually on the podcast because obviously since we stopped doing the Pro 2 reviews, the old Muzza influence has been missed.
Yeah, always been missed.
Yes. But with that in mind, let's talk NXT. This is for NXT TV for the 25th of February. Also, before we get started, I should say, don't take anything that we say here as gospel. These are just opinions. This is a review. Opinions and thoughts is all it is. If you want to go out your way and form your own opinions, then please do. WWE NXT can be watched on Netflix in the UK and other international markets. If you're in the US, it's on the HCW network. Other than that, I'm sure it's also on YouTube as well, if you wanted to just view the highlights of the show. But with that in mind, let's talk NXT. So, there was no filler, there's no commentary bits or anything between, it was just straight into the first match of the night, which was for the Women's NXT North American Championship. We had the champion, Stephanie Vaquer, going up against Carmen Petrovic, who won her contendership from a dual threat match, where she beat Kalani Jordan and Jada Parker. Vaquer wins and retains with the SVB, which is a package backbreaker. I rated 3.5 stars. First things first. Why is the man Ashante Adonis dressed like Brian Keith? Give me a convincement right there,
And just interesting style, but at the very least, he's there supporting his really significant other. I don't know what the relationship, just supporting his love interest at the time.
Yeah, I believe the term that was used is his boo.
His boo.
Yeah, it's kind of cringe, I know. I think that is a term used though. But besides all that, it was a good opening match and almost a showcase match for Carmen, who has come on leaps and bounds. Because at one point there was nothing more to her than the whole, swing that she has with the sword. But now she's a fully fledged competitor who can go with the best NXT has to offer. The Ashante crap is done with. She's moving on. and maybe 2025 we'll see her rise and stock even more. She can even be a champion by the end of it. Like, that's how good she is at the moment. But as always, we will see. Vakir rules, and this was no exception. She has a fluidity about her that she carries into her matches naturally, and it's powered every single time. She's a credit to have on the roster, and people fighting her will learn more, but just by being in the ring with her. So all credit to her, all credit to Carmen. Great match to start things off. What do you think?
Yep, couldn't agree more. Of a tried. Vakir obviously very, very talented. She's always been very good, and I think she's getting a solid first rank defense here. I think the result definitely not in question, but as you say, this was a chance for Carmen Petrovic to show what she can do. And yeah, like I said, I'm not a regular watcher of NXT. I have seen clips of Carmen, and by the looks of it, I thought, she's got the sword thing. She does kicks. What else is there? But obviously, she's improved a lot. She's definitely now got a full package. And yeah, I thought this is just, solid TV title defense here, and both women came out here looking good.
Yeah, absolutely. But with that in mind, we go to the post-match of this, because it's not over just yet. Stephanie stands in the ring, celebrates, but out comes Julia. She comes out to congratulate Stephanie, and then claims that despite Stephanie's claim that she's the best champion, Julia believes that it's her who is the best champion. Julia then challenges her to find out who the best woman is, which Stephanie's up for. Stephanie says that she is La Primera, which means she's the champion of champions. And Stephanie suggests that they do the match, but champ v champ, title for title. They both seem to agree to this and hold the titles up. Now, we will get confirmation later on in the show if that is the case or not, but what are your thoughts at this moment?
Interesting that it seems like we're going straight into potentially title for title. It's like, these two have both only just recently became champions. It does make you wonder, is there something going on here that we don't know about? And well, I guess we'll talk about it now. Later on, after the show, I think it was reported from good old Mr. Brian Alvarez that someone is working injured. Now, I'm not sure who it could be. Probably the one that's not working, that didn't just work a match. But we'll have to see. Does this impact? Are they maybe having to change stuff around? Who knows? But I think this is a big match to give away on. I think the match is set for. Well, we now know the match is set for Roadblock, so we're not even waiting. Still stand and deliver for this, which it's interesting to see what the plan is.
Mm-hmm.
How well they're going to cope with this, but yeah, at the end of the day, it's Julia versus Stephanie Vakir. It doesn't. I don't think it matters who's injured. That match.
Yeah, that is the match. That is what they're all waiting for, and it's weird that they're going to bring it forward to Roadblock, because the assumption, I think, for all of us, or most of us anyway, was it was going to be stand and deliver. That was the vision. Julia champion, Stephanie champion, going into stand and deliver. Obviously now it appears that's not going to be the case. So I've got an idea as for what could be the stand and deliver match, but I'll get into that down the line. Sorry, my throat's pretty today. After this, we get a vignette. We are outside somewhere by a bridge, and we see Ariana Grace with the TNA Director of Authority, Santino Marella. Yes. They discuss upcoming stuff in NXT and TNA. Then in comes Lola Vice. She wants to fight and doesn't care who it's against. Ariana disregards her, and Lola does not take too kindly to that. Insult on her family. Her father's right there. Come on, Lola. And Ariana does not take too kindly to that, and so the match is set, presumably for later tonight. It's fun seeing the dynamic of Santino and Ariana on TV.
Yeah, you can definitely tell she is the daughter of Santino. She does have a bit of his comedy timing.
Yeah, she does. Absolutely.
Yeah.
After this,
Maybe. Oh, well, actually, does she look more like Santino or his sister Santina?
that is a good question. And if you follow TNA and their social media, you'll see that Santino did actually try on Ariana's tiara once because he missed Santino because they're twin siblings.
Yeah. I think a very long distance relation. Santino's not around as much, which is a shame. But
Yeah, I mean, I think Santino got released at one point for WWE and then came back in a Rumble, I think, recently.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's about
it was a couple of years ago, and then we haven't seen her since.
Yeah. It's a shame, really. Anyway, we move on backstage. We see Lexis King sporting a ridiculous hairstyle, a drawn-on beard and mustache, whatever.
Standard for Lexis King.
Yeah. He approaches Ovemi, who's chilling out backstage as well. Both are champions in a sense, even though one holds a trophy. Lexis claims that because they're in his hometown, he's got an advantage over Moose, who he's fighting tonight. And while people want Oba and Moose, after the match with Moose, assumably after Lexis wins, people will want Oba and Lexis. Now, the people who are like me, who watch NXT week in, week out, know that we've seen this match already, Oba and Lexis. It was during Oba's North American title reign that we saw it happen.
They're different now.
He's still got the shitty beard.
It's more drawn on.
Of course.
It's what fuels his power.
He used a better pencil. He's like one of the artist ones they use on that sketch pads.
Full on Sharpie.
Yeah. So yeah, after this, we go into the second match of the night. It is for the TNA X Division Championship, and I can tell Mr. Evac Craig is currently slamming his desk right now because he wants to be on his shows, but he can't do it at TNA because he's not here.
Yeah.
It is Lexis King taking on the champion Moose, and I know he don't do it anymore, but when you hear the Moose, like, it's, you gotta do it in the tune of it.
Yeah.
So who would win the X Division title match? Would it be Moose and retain, or would it be Lexis King to claim a second accolade to what he currently has? Moose! No, he doesn't.
Moose.
Moose wins via the most ridiculous spear I've ever seen anyone ever do. It's a very weird spear. Like, you think of spears, you think of Edge, you think of Rhino, you think of Goldberg even. Like, it's just, I don't know. I don't know why you've got to do a forward flip as you do a spear.
Yeah, exactly. It's not like I say, it's not the worst spear, but it isn't the best spear.
No, because it just looks like it don't actually have any impact because he hits him and then rolls through it.
Yeah, I guess what we're trying to say is he's going so quickly to spear him that he's doing a flip almost.
Yeah, I guess.
From going from speed to bang.
Yeah. I mean,
it's not the worst thing. I think it maybe work more on. I don't know if it would work better on a bigger guy or a smaller guy.
Probably a bigger guy.
Probably better a bigger guy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just a really odd scene. It's odd thing to see if you're not used to seeing it because I don't watch TNA, so I've not been seeing much of Moose other than like through the occasional social media posts.
Yeah.
So it's just weird to me seeing that move. That's all. Of course, the best spear in the business belongs to Rhino. Always has. Probably always will.
Yeah. No.
So I read match 3 stars. It was a weird match. It was another chapter of the NXTNA relationship manifesting from this match. And while it was quite obvious who was going to win, I had an air of uncertainty. Or I felt that anyway. Especially when Lexus hit the coronation. I thought, at that moment, no fucking way. They're not going to...
This is something you think by this point of relationship, you'd assume one of the titles would flip to the other side.
Yeah.
It hasn't happened yet. I think it will happen at some point, but it is very interesting. I think I do think if this was against someone else who's a bit bigger on the card, not saying Lexus King is a big name, but the fact that he is the Heritage Cup champion, I think kind of made it obvious that he was never going to win. This was against someone else that I'm trying to think of anyone, the babyface side. Like, if this was, imagine this match was against Trick Williams, you'd be like, oh, hang on a minute, this might actually change hands, but no. I thought this was a solid enough match. I've always felt both Muzza and Lexus King are good wrestlers. They're not, workhorses, but they are good at what they do, and they put on a very, very solid TV title match again.
Yeah.
And the whole point was, I think it builds up to the point that, Muzza is someone who can just smash through,
and then roll through.
Even some of your split through some of their best, some of your best, and present them as a viable threat to Obafemi.
Yeah, absolutely, and the match I think was done in a way to sort of promote Moose and be in a way to sort of display him as a threat to Obafemi going forward, even if Lexus King is not necessarily the biggest person he could have beaten, to showcase that. Mm-hmm. But, he is the current champion, so it makes sense. Because you couldn't have him beat, like, Tony D or something, for North American title. That would have made no sense to do that.
Yeah, I don't think that would have worked. I think if you had to pick any of the current champions, well, it would have been cool. It would have been cool to have seen him save maybe one half of Fraxium, but I think if they're not available, Lexus King was probably your best.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, I believe this was Moose's first appearance on WWE TV. I could be wrong on that front, but he's got an aura.
No, well, his first match on
first match on WWE TV. He's got an absolute aura about him, like his entrance, like he's made for NXT. Like, I don't. There's something about like the no lights, like him just standing there, the size he is as well, like that, the robe, the title, the look, everything is there. Like it's all about presentation, and he gets that in NXT. Like there is so much there to work with. Like you see this guy, you think, holy shit, like wow, like like it's amazing what camera work can do. Like. Femi gets the same treatment on the camera as well. Like he's also displayed as a threat. So does Julia, for example. Like her entrance is very spectacular as well. Like there's very few people who get that sort of limelight in their entrance way, and Moose is one of them.
He's 6'6", nearly 300 pounds. Like he actually, I think I've looked. He's taller than Oba. I think Oba's a bit beefier, but Moose is tall. This is like a real. Two mountains of men.
Two mountains of men.
Two mountains of men, quoted Muzza 2025.
Hell yeah. So post-match, we do see Femi. He comes out to confront Moose, and then we get the confirmation that Oba is beefier and Moose is taller. However, he announces that our roadblock, it'll be Oba versus Moose, champ versus champ, title for title. It makes sense to do it at roadblock, even if it does seem a little fast, but it does make sense to do it that way. But at the time, I did feel it was weird to announce it that soon, straight after Stephanie and Julia had also said champ v champ, title for title. But more on that later. We get a vignette next. It's Sean Spears. He talks about his group. He's talked about how he's been transforming and forming people to his identity and the way he wants people to be seen. Brooks Jensen, Nico Vance, and now Izzy Dame. He has changed them all into people of his creation. People will call it manipulation, but he calls it something. What do you call it? How do we call it now? He called it something else. That's not manipulation.
We're not a cult, we swear.
There's a new family in NXT, and next week Sean will take the men's North American title from Tony D. What do you think? Do you think Sean Spears is going to take the title?
I mean, this is his second time challenging, I believe.
It's second time, yeah.
Yeah, so I think Tony D's held the belt for a decent while. He's coming in injured. If there was any time to maybe, it does make it interesting why they maybe wouldn't do the match for Roadblock. I don't know if maybe they're going to do something else at Roadblock, but yeah, it will be. If there was a time to switch the belts, that would maybe be the time.
Yeah. I think it's happening next week, actually, not a Roadblock. I think it's happening next week, the match.
No, that's what I mean. I'm surprised it's not happening.
Oh, sorry. Got you. Yeah, it's very, very strange. I'm assuming there's some sort of, like, fuckery or something in that match. And then we're going to get the full 4v4 of Family v Family. Mm-hmm. Probably at Roadblock.
Yeah.
And then maybe Stand and Deliver. We might get Sean Spears and Tony D. Maybe.
Yeah.
Because I don't know who else you can build in that time to face Tony D.
Yeah.
So yeah, after this, we get a Twitter post with Ariana Grace. They're on some sort of tour bus, the women of NXT. And she's with Kalani Jordan. She's talking to Kalani about Jada. Kalani gets annoyed. Jada's ears perk up in the back. You can see Jada's like, "Oh, she's talking about me." And that's basically it. And then they get into more tensions, flare up, and then they almost brawl, which is then broken up by the other people in the roster on the bus. After this, we get a promo with the Juggernaut, Jordynne Grace. Jordynne comes out, wanted to waste no time in joining what she truly believes to be the best women's roster in the world. Because it is. Like no matter what walk of life you come from in wrestling, or no matter what you're a fan of in wrestling, like whether you're a fan of AEW, whether you're a fan of WWE main roster, whether you're a fan of, Joshi wrestling, whether you're a fan of any other international brand, NXT has the best women's roster. And it's hard to deny it.
You could maybe make debates for some, but I think it is you have to put it in the conversation.
Mm-hmm. Like, I find it hard to. I watch a lot of wrestling, and I find it hard to argue with that. Like, the closest to it is probably Joshi, if I had to give a certain scene. Yeah. But even saying that,
that's the thing. The Joshis have an advantage of it's an entire company of women's wrestlers.
Yeah.
You kind of have to have a strong women's division.
Yeah, you'd hope so, right? But
yeah, so in terms of in general companies, where it's like men and women, yeah, you have to say NXT definitely has one of the stronger women's divisions.
Mm-hmm. And also, not to eschew anything, but it's an English-speaking roster. There's no language barrier. Like, someone like Jordynne might struggle if she went to Japan because of the language barrier. Yeah. So, that's always a factor to consider with things like that. But, and of course, money. Of course, that's also a main thing, money. So yeah, so she wants to become a champion in NXT. Performers like Julia and Stephanie need to be prepared because the next time she sees one of them, it'll be across the ring from them. She says the Juggernaut is unstoppable, but she's cut off by Roxanne Perez. She welcomes Jordynne to the brand that she made famous. She calls the TNA Knockouts division a small pond that Jordynne was a big fish of, which I think if Craig was here, he would agree. Like, the current way that the knockout division is in TNA, it's not the strongest, from what I gather. Like, there's not many people in it of a high stature.
Mm-hmm.
Whereas in NXT, it's obviously a bigger pond. It's an ocean, you know. Like,
yeah.
She says that she'll go on to win the chamber in Toronto and go on to win the women's world title at WrestleMania. And if she feels like it, she'll come back to NXT and win the NXT women's world title as well, and be called Roxy Two Belts. And then a chant follows of Roxy Two Belts. Yes. Jordan says that there is a famous saying: "Everyone has a plan until."
I think I've heard that one before, but they're very effective.
Very. She just sucks Roxanne in the face, and the brawl breaks out, and they get separated basically by the ropes, and then Roxanne just leaves, and then
yeah. It seems like that's maybe in the pipeline. I'm not sure when for. My guess, probably Stand and Deliver.
That would be my thinking, but I think, given what we know about Stephanie and Julia, I think Stand and Deliver now is Jordan and Stephanie.
Mm-hmm.
That seems to be the next best thing you can do. Or maybe for Roxanne in there too. I don't know.
But I do think, in terms of a first feud, I think putting Jordan against someone like Roxanne, who's, the way up, is probably going to be fully in the main roster post-Mania.
Yeah, I mean, she's already there. She's already in the chamber. Like,
she's already in the chamber, exactly. She's still jumping in between, but she will eventually be full on main roster.
Yeah.
So having Grace feud with her first, I think, is a solid idea.
Yeah.
Solid idea. Gives her a big win on the way up and shows that she is going to be a big part of NXT's plans in 2025.
Yeah, fully agree. So, let me go backstage with Trick Williams. Trick is lamenting over not having a win in 2025, which I looked up, and that is true. That is insane, but it's true. Trick Williams we're currently in March, and Trick Williams has not got a single win this year on NXT TV, which is so your mind like in comes Javon Evans to try and relate to him. However, Trick has no interest whatsoever in this and becomes aggressive. And actually tells Javon to stay in his lane. The pair will have a stare off. In comes Ricky Saints. He offers a hand out to Trick. He says, "Hi, I'm Ricky Saints." And then Trick's like, "Yeah, I know who you are," and then walks off. And then he turns to Javon and he's like, "I get being angry, but all the time."
Everyone's just angry.
It's a very angry locker room. It's a lot of testosterone in the air.
Testosterone. You've got the car park of nightmares nearby. Everyone's on edge.
Absolutely. Everyone needs to cope.
Yeah. Not AEW cope, but well, maybe it is.
Maybe it is. You never know. There needs to be a leader for the new group of four. It could be Cope.
Yeah.
After that, we get an interview next with Jada Parker. Jada's asked about the incident on the bus with Kalani. Jada claims that Kalani's lost her mind. She's lost the title, and she says that she'll help Kalani find it when they clash.
I mean, for those of us who are able to watch it, because I was watching this, and unfortunately the feed wasn't working on NXT because how on Netflix it usually has those breaks they have the ads that show just the wrestler staring in camera, do a move.
Yeah.
Do a move. It kept cutting between the promo and Roxanne Perez. Perez's thing. It just kept cutting in between, so I got a bit of I'm gonna I'm like, what's happening here? Is Roxanne Perez interrupting the feed?
Look at me.
Look at me, forget her, look at me. Yeah, technical errors besides, I didn't get a good chance to look at the promo, but yeah, they're building up these two for a feud.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been for a few weeks now, so they're going to clash eventually, and when it happens, it'll be a decent match. After this, we go into the third match of the night, which is a match that you've been looking forward to. It is a tag team match. It is the NQCC, the No Quarter Catch Crew, Tavian Heights and Miles Bourne, taking on the Hardy Boys. Matt and Jeff Hardy, you heard that right. Former WWE Tag Team Champion, like multiple-time Tag Team Champions, Rio Evolve Tag Champions, TNA Tag Champions. Both time, I think both have held a world title in WWE in other companies too. These are, by all definitions, this is a legendary tag team.
Yep.
And
they, as always, their theme hits, crowd reacts. They are very over.
Yep. We get a line. From
I love fucking Vic Joseph then saying even Miles Bourne heard that pop.
Yeah.
Which is something I did, as I learned live on that show. I did not know Miles Bourne was deaf.
I think he's half deaf, but yeah.
Yeah, like, I never knew. Because I remember hearing him do a promo, and I'm like, I was messaging someone. I said he's got a bit of a weird accent, and I was told he's deaf. I'm like, oh,
yeah, which makes it even more insane that he's able to wrestle the way he does.
Yeah,
because he can't hear audio cues.
The fact you're deaf and the fact you're half deaf or half deaf and still able to put on these other matches, yeah, fair enough.
Fucking impressive.
Yeah. Not bad, Randy Orton Jr. I swear you are.
Randy Orton's unborn son.
Yeah. Which he even acknowledged in a tweet saying, "I'm not like Randy Orton. I don't hear voices in my head. I can't hear."
So yeah, the match itself, the Hardy Boys win following a Twist of Fate Swanton Bomb combination on Miles. I rate it 3 stars. At best, it was a good match. I appreciate the fact that the Hardys are probably the highest regarded team in WWE history. I would maybe like Dudley or something like that, but that's it. Their history, neither of them can really go anymore, and that may come across as me being harsh. But if you're sticking in the ring with someone like people like Tavian and Miles, your flaws are going to get exposed very quickly because you can't keep up with them because they're young, they're fresh, they're fast. And Hardys are not the same. And in the past, in their prime, the Hardys, they also weren't a work rate team. They were high spots and death-defying, like the men who gravity forgot. Like it was a case of you watched them because you want to see Jeff do a fucking death-defying dive, or you want to see Matt fucking do a leg drop from something. Like, you wanted to see that stuff from them. You didn't watch them because of their in-ring capabilities, like you would a Kurt Angle, for example.
I think overall for their first match back in WWE, I think they definitely tried to show the best they can do, and the match was solid. It was nothing spectacular. I think it was definitely, and like as you say, it definitely helps. You're pairing them off against this younger team who can definitely cover for their more slower side. Slower sides. Whereas, Avian and Miles can just bump around them and make them look good, which they did their job well.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah.
It's just a little awkward, obviously. I know you're a big fan of particularly Jeff, but
yeah, like I love Jeff Hardy to death, and I always will. But even I can admit, he's not the same guy he was.
Mm-hmm.
He hasn't been that guy for a while.
Yeah. And it's great to see them, both alright, they're both safe, they're both okay, because I know they both had their demons. Obviously, Jeff's stuff that we can't really go into, but Matt had the whole concussion stuff in AEW as well. Like that was a big thing at the time. So it's good to see them both doing well and they're both safe. They're both able to perform to the level that they can do.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Just as long as you don't put them against a team that's also known for quite their high flying work rate.
Yeah.
Like
nothing can go wrong.
Yeah, as long as you don't. Yeah.
Like keep it on the mat, like very technical based. Very good. Don't put them against fast teams. Don't put them against like a high flying team. Absolutely fine. Post match. Fraxium. They are watching on the ramp, basically. They're coming to the ring, and they congratulate the Hardys, and welcome to the NXT brand. Fraser wants to recognise that he and Axiom are the greatest tag team today, and they're facing off in the ring right now with the greatest tag team of all time. And that's why I'm like, oh, for fuck's sake. But at the time, here comes the TNA Director of Authority, Santino Marella, who comes out to his WWE theme.
My God, it's not Death Rebel.
Yes. Santino
got the pop again because Santino.
Yeah.
It is so weird hearing a Jim Johnston theme nowadays. You don't get it that often.
You don't. I think is the Hardys Jim Johnston as well.
No. The Jeff Loaded is just a general theme.
Oh, okay.
Do you know how MJF has that theme that is license free and anyone can use it?
You can find it on YouTube Music, yeah.
Exactly. The same for the Hardys theme. Anyone can use it. You can use Loaded.
Oh, sweet.
That's how...
On this podcast right now.
Yeah, that's it. You're going to have to now add it for when I've done it. There's your YouTube short clip for the day.
Woo! But no. So here's Santino. Santino has an announcement. He's speaking to Ava in the back, and at Roadblock it'll be Traxion versus the Hard Boys for the World Tag Team Championships. At this point, that is his exact wording, so we don't know what titles he means, or both. We don't know at this point in time. It's announced later on. It's announced later on, but Santino's comments aren't clear. Yeah. That's all. So after this, we go to a vignette.
But he's speaking in a second language. He's a pure Italian,
Of course, yeah. And speaking of pure Italians, we have a vignette with the D'Angelo family. Tony D is late to a family meeting, but he arrives. It's basically just a lot of a follow up from what happened last week. Stacks apologizes to Tony D for losing the spears, but Tony has no issues with it. Tony had to lay low, but he's proud of how Stacks handled business, looking at the favor by himself. Tony D says that he has to handle spears by himself next week. Stacks questions it, then Luca questions Stacks. But Tony confirms that Stacks is allowed to because Stacks is the underboss. And that's about it. Yeah. After this, we get a brilliant segment. I'm not biased at all here. Backstage, Sol Ruka and Zarya are discussing team tactics. But wait, everyone, clear out the room. You've got to clear it out because Chelsea Green's here. And you've got to clear the room by herself. And here comes Chelsea Green. Chelsea Green, absolute ray of greatness. I fucking love Chelsea Green. She is so good.
I was kind of hoping you'd do the I forget which announcer it is that does the full-on announcement.
Oh,
really hams up her name.
Oh, I forgot her name now off my head, but I know who you mean.
I forgot her name, but I was hoping you were going to do that.
It's Chelsea Green.
Pop.
So everyone clears out of the room except for Zol and Zarya. Tensions rise. Zaruka teased the tag records. Piper manages a taser. You know, normal things. Chelsea, Chelsea tells Piper, there we go, to agree something to sort the whole mess out, so she can get a massage. Piper then inadvertently agrees to the tag match with Saruka. And then when Chelsea finds out, she's not pleased about it, saying like, "Why did you do that?" And Piper's like, This whole thing is great.
Damn stop.
I love the pairing of Chelsea and Piper. It's such a good pairing.
Yeah.
Saying that though, I don't know if I think Chelsea's gonna make anything work. Like that's been how good Chelsea is.
Yeah. Even Piper, I think Piper kind of
she adds to it. Absolutely.
Not being just doing the straight man to a straight woman to Chelsea's antics, but she's also can be just as funny at doing it that way.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. Like how I don't know if you've watched SmackDown. Well, obviously we're recording on Saturday. I'm not sure if you've seen SmackDown. Piper Niven came out as the Mountie.
Ah.
Yes, we can add her. You know, we've got the original Mountie. We've got John Moxley. We've got Piper Niven. And there's your.
But that's it. A new faction right there. The Mounties.
a trio of Mounties.
So yeah,
they always get their man
or woman.
Or woman.
There you go. After this, we get a singles match. The fourth of the night. It is Ariana Grace. She's back. Yeah. Facing Lola Vice. Oh, bye, Ariana.
Yeah.
Lola wins, of course, with the 305, the spinning back fist. I rate it 2 stars. It's the highest I'm gonna give a match that was less than 5 minutes. It was a squash match pretty much, but it's Lola, and Lola is really good, and so's Ariana. It's fun to see Ariana in the ring again. It's her first NXT match actually since July last year, when she lost to Kyle Petrovich. So it's been a while.
It's been a while, but it got Lola over, made her look strong.
Absolutely.
Job done,
exactly. As Lola celebrates in the ring, we cut away to show the NQCC have been attacked backstage. And they even laid out Ren Sinclair, too. It's revealed that in the same shot, that it was the new mystery group that did it, as they leave slapping trailers in the parking lot. So, cool. And my note here is no discrimination. They laid out Ren too.
you are all on our list.
Unless, of course, WWE aren't a fan of doing the assumption of men hitting women. So, could there be a female in the group too? A 5th person?
Who knows?
So, just food for thought, After this, we get a vignette with Eddie Thorpe. Eddie's walking around. He's talking around. Talking about his people and how they once stood proud in Cincinnati and how they're forced out to the West. It reminds him of how he beat Trick Williams at Vengeance Day and how he still won't get the opportunities that he feels he deserves.
Acknowledgement, yes, because my people were forced to move out west. This reminds me of me having to face Trick Williams again. What's the correlation here, mate?
It felt very pulling at straws to try and make things meet.
We need people to remind me about my heritage, but also remind people I'm facing Trick Williams again.
Absolutely. He wants Trick, and even tells Trick to name the time and place that they fight again. After this, we get an interview with Ava. Ava confirms that the match between Ovemi and Moose will be for the NXT Championship. She also confirms that the Fraxium Hideaways match will be for the TNA tag titles. And she also confirms that the match between Junior and Stephanie is confirmed for Roadblock, with both titles on the line. So, with that in mind, of course, we do refer to the Brian Alvarez report that Julia is apparently hurt. So that's why they brought it forward to Roadblock, to allow Julia to have that time to rest and recuperate and to have surgery if she needs it. Still strange to have it Roadblock, in my opinion. And I think if you're going to run Roxanne and Jordan, run that on TV, I think, or a Roadblock. And then build up Jordan to be the challenger for Stephanie. If that is the case, for Stand Deliver. Or, do a dual threat match at Stand Deliver. Jordan, Roxanne, and Stephanie. Potentially.
Yeah.
I don't know. How would you book it if you were if you're in that position?
It's a bit of an interesting scenario. Obviously, we don't know the severity of the injury. If it's something that's maybe gonna put them out in the long term. If it is, then yes, you probably should try and get it switched over soon as. So doing it at Roadblock definitely makes more sense.
Mm-hmm.
It's a difficult situation. Oh.
Yeah. It's we'll see. We'll see what happens as always. But yeah. So after this, we go into the main event of the night, the 5th match of the night. It's a tag team match. Wesley and Ethan Page teaming up to face Javon Evans and a debuting Ricky Starks. Now, the question on everyone's mind: what theme would Saints have? Would it be something completely new? Would it be the AEW one that he used? Would it be something else? Would it be made by Death Rebel? Made by someone else independently? Made by CFOS, Jim Johnson, whoever? Turns out it's Death Rebel. So let's go out. First thing here is welcome to the Revolution. And then we get a theme that sounds kind of like his AEW theme.
It's not as good.
No.
Respectfully. Yeah. Then again, who's making the themes now? Is it still Death Rebel? Because I thought they were gone.
Apparently they're still doing them.
Oh dear. Mm-hmm.
So
that's all I'll say.
Any new wrestler comes in, welcome to something, or I am something, or who am I? I am something.
Who are you again? I don't know.
Like you heard like this King's theme. It sounds like My Way, My Life. That's a Death Rebel thing. It's just you don't even have talking at the start of every theme. Corva Jade is welcome to Generation of Jade. There's a reason the best themes don't have someone talking at the start of them, other than The Rock. That's about it.
The one exception.
But I don't know. The theme for Saints is okay, but I do miss the whole bang, bang, the. Exactly, it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah, so the match ends with Ricky and Javon picking up the win, following the Rochambeau from Ricky Saints to Wesley. I rated it 3.25 stars. It was a fun main event, but the one thing you got to remember is this match was made to promote Ricky Saints. It was
We're gonna have a lot of that.
Yeah, we are. It was a Ricky Saints showcase that, for me, sort of took away from the experience of it all. A good match, don't be wrong, but I just wanted to point that out. The story progression with Javon and Ethan was present in this as well, so that's another thing going forward for NXT as we move forward to Stand Deliver, with Roadblock being in the way first.
Yeah. Yeah, this good solid enough main event. As I said, it was very much just a match to get Ricky Saints over, introduce them. I do notice that the one thing I definitely remember from this match was more a comment made by one of the commentators calling apparently Cody Rhodes called Ricky Saints the most naturally talented wrestler since Barry Windham. I don't know about that, but there's no doubt.
Just to completely discard the entire 20, 25 years in between now and then,
Yeah, and also Barry Windham was one of the most underappreciated wrestlers of all. Just a very underappreciated wrestler during his time, and not to say Ricky Saints is not on that level. I think Ricky Saints is very good, but it's still very here and there on where his level is. Obviously, in AEW, I think a lot of people felt he could have went higher than he actually did. Others felt differently. I thought for what he did in AEW, I thought he did well with what he was given, but obviously, as it later on, it kind of just there was clearly disagreements.
Yeah, and that is unfortunate, but at least he's landing on his feet here.
Yeah, and I think he's definitely going to be a mainstay in NXT.
Yeah, absolutely. So as we know, on the Cody Rhodes tier list of naturally gifted stars, we have F1 on the F tier, like your Gunters, your Jey Usos, your CM Punks. F1 is there, right, in the F tier. Yep. Then you got Ricky Starks on the C tier, and then on the S tier, Barry Windham. All the way at the top of Barry Windham. There's one guy from the 80s and 90s.
Oh yeah. We all remember his gimmick as the Stalker.
Of course. I don't.
No, I'll need to show you what he was as a Stalker. It was fucking hilarious.
But no. That did bring it into NXT. There was nothing else after that, so that was the end of NXT. Overall, was a show. It was decent. There was nothing really bad or out of place. Everything had a purpose, whether I liked it or not.
Yeah.
And yeah, we move forward. We got one more show before Roadblock, which is the in between now and Stand and Deliver. But yeah, that does it's done its job. The show, it was alright.
Yeah,
nothing really stand out. I did enjoy the first match of the night. That much I'll say. I enjoyed Carmen and Stephanie. I think that is my match of the night. But yeah, other than that, have you got any post show or overall show thoughts, Muzza?
Not really. No, I think overall, it was just again just a solid show. There's nothing very standout. There was nothing bad. It was just a solid episode.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah. But yeah, with that in mind, Muzza, where can people find you? Because it is the end of the show, I should say. It's the end of the podcast, end of the review. So where can people find you if they want to follow you?
You can find me on Twitter at Muzza__3044. 44. You can also that's about it really for social media plugs. You can find me on there. I'm usually talking some absolute nonsense. Yeah, it'll be
nonsense of football. The main things.
Nonsensical stuff.
Yeah. Of course, as well, if you're also inclined, I am on Twitter as well at DpuizY, which is just there. In regards to the podcast itself, the outlets are at the bottom of the screen. You have our Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and that is meant to be Blue Sky, so it's just pretend it's Blue Sky, it's not Twitch. And also please like, share the video, comment underneath, say what you enjoyed, what you didn't like as much. Do you want to see other shows covered on the Show Squared? I'm open to it. Not going to happen, but I'm open to it. And also, what's the other thing? Oh yeah, subscribe to the channel. It is free. hurts no one, helps everyone immensely. But with that in mind, that does bring an end to the show and end to the review. I have been Dan DpuizY, the critically acclaimed podcast host, and I've been joined by hopefully a regular now, the wonderful Muzza 44. We will see you in the next one. Peace.